Today, we're going to unpack a massive business opportunity that's, well, hiding in plain sight. And our main source for this? It's a really detailed report from the Indian government itself. The topic might surprise you. We're talking about the simple, everyday corrugated cardboard box.
I know, it sounds a little too simple to be true, doesn't it? A cardboard box. But you gotta stick with me on this, because the numbers in this official government report, they tell this incredible story of huge demand, a surprising gap in the market, and believe it or not, a really clear path to profitability. You've absolutely seen these boxes. They show up at your front door, they line the aisles at the supermarket. I mean, they are the backbone of modern logistics. But the real story here, the really interesting part, it's not about what's in the boxes. It's about where so many of the boxes themselves are coming from, and why that reveals a golden opportunity right here in India. Okay, so here's the number that kind of kicked this whole thing off. 93 crore rupees. To put that in perspective, we're talking over 120 million US dollars. That is how much worth of corrugated boxes India imported in just one single fiscal year. And that massive number sets up a pretty big economic puzzle. So this brings us to what I'm calling India's cardboard box paradox. I mean, why is a manufacturing powerhouse, a country that's all about Atmanirbhar Bharat, or self-reliance, why are we buying so many of these basic, essential goods from other countries? Let's dig into the data a little bit. Now, what's really wild about this slide is the trend. It's not just a big number. It's a number that's going up fast. It went from 39 crore to 47 crore, and then look at that jump. It practically doubled to 93 crore in just 1 year. This isn't some stable market. This is an import market that is absolutely exploding. And here is the paradox in one single question. The report confirms there are over 14,000, that's 14,000 domestic manufacturers of these boxes all over the country. So with a huge domestic industry already here, why on earth is the demand for foreign-made boxes surging like this? To find out, the ministry, well, they started talking to people on the ground. So what did they find? Well, turns out the investigation uncovered a few key hurdles, 3 big ones actually, that are holding our domestic producers back and just swinging the door wide open for imports. This quote right here, it gets right to the heart of the first, and maybe the most fundamental problem, the raw materials. According to the industry's own association, Indian boxes are made entirely from recycled fiber. Now, that is great for the environment, for sure, but it means the strength of the box often just can't match up to boxes made from virgin softwood fiber, the stuff coming from the US or Europe. So because of that raw material issue, you get this really serious gap in quality and technology. Stakeholders told the government that a lot of local factories just have outdated layouts and older tech. And this isn't just about how the box looks. It's critical for specialty uses. Like, imagine you're a pharma company shipping medicine that has to stay at sub-zero temperatures. You need a box you can trust. And right now, that level of quality often means you gotta import it. And the final hurdle? Well, it all comes down to money. The cost of closing that technology gap. The Confederation of Indian Industry put it bluntly, if you want to compete, you need automation, and automation requires a huge upfront investment. For a lot of those 14,000 smaller players, that's a barrier they just can't cross. Okay, so we've got a raw material issue, a tech gap, and a high cost of entry. It sounds a bit tough, but the whole point of the government's report wasn't just to list problems. It was to create a solution. A really detailed, actionable blueprint for any entrepreneur who's looking to jump on this opportunity. They put everything together into what's called a Detailed Project Report, or a DPR. You can think of it like a complete business plan in a box. Literally. It lays out everything. The exact technology you need, the scale, the costs, and even the projected profits for a modern, competitive box factory. So what's in this blueprint? Well, it boils down to 3 core ideas. First, use a modern, semi-automatic production line to make sure the quality is top-notch. Second, build it at a scale that makes sense financially, about 6,000 metric tons a year. And third, the potential outcome if you follow this plan, a very, very attractive projected return on investment of over 29%. Yeah, that 29% figure probably made you sit up a little straighter. So let's get right into the numbers. The DPR breaks down the entire financial model, and it answers the single most important question for any potential investor. Is this thing actually profitable? Okay, so what's the price tag? According to the plan, the total project investment is 23 crore rupees. And the report breaks this down into 2 parts. 3 crore in fixed capital. That's the one-time cost for the land, the building, the machinery, and 20 core and working capital, which is basically the day-to-day cash you need to get the business up and running. And for that 23 core investment, what's the potential reward? Well, the report's financial model projects a very specific return on investment of 29.12%. That is a powerful number, and it shows some seriously strong potential for profitability in this space. But what about the risk, right? I mean, how much do you have to produce just to cover your costs? The DPR actually calculates the break-even point at just 43.19% of the plant's total capacity. To put it simply, that means the factory only needs to be running at less than half its potential to cover all its costs and start making a profit. That gives you a pretty significant cushion.
So the numbers look pretty compelling, but what does the actual manufacturing look like? And maybe most importantly, is there any help available to make that 23 crore investment a little more achievable?
Now, let's be clear, this is not a small-scale workshop. The entire blueprint is based on a modern, semi-automatic production line that's designed for efficiency and quality. We're talking sophisticated machinery here, like a full production line and high-speed helical cutters. This is the kind of tech you need to make world-class boxes and compete head-on with imports. And this is the final, crucial piece of the puzzle. The report makes it super clear that entrepreneurs are not on their own here. Using Telangana's industrial policy as an example, it points to a whole range of powerful incentives: direct investment subsidies, getting money back for power costs, a full 100% exemption on stamp duty, and even getting your state GST reimbursed for the first 5 years. These programs are designed to seriously de-risk the whole thing. So there you have it, a 93 crore and growing import market just waiting to be tapped. A detailed government blueprint that shows a clear path to a 29% return on your investment, and significant financial incentives to help you get started. The only question left is the one right here on your screen. And for the right entrepreneur, the answer could be a very, very big opportunity.